What you guys, got another video here for you on settings you should change after installing Windows 10. Now there's a bunch of settings that you may want to change, and I'm going to go through some of the ways of really locking those settings down and stop them from running. So let's go first into the settings pane, and in the first tab, which is privacy and general, this is where advertising IDs and stuff like that are collected, and this is where you can let apps using advertising IDs basically collect data on you. Now you can toggle those switches off, but if you want to do it in a more thorough way, you can go into the group policy editor by typing GPO inside the search box, and you will need Windows 10 Pro and above. Once you're inside the group policy editor, you want to go up to computer configuration, administrative templates, then come down to where it says system, open that tab up there, and then come all the way down here, right the way down until you see user profiles. Inside user profiles, turn the advertising IDs off. So you can see this one here. Go inside here by double clicking, and if you read the information, it tells you exactly what to do. So if you enable this feature, it will disable it, and that's that. So all we need to do here now, if we go back to our privacy pane, we will need to go back in there. There we go. You should see some settings are hidden and managed by your organization, and this is how you can basically disable a lot of these. Now some of these settings, like these three here, won't be allowed to be changed inside the group policy, but all of the other stuff will be able to be done in group policy, and I'll show you how to do some of those. So next up is your location. Now location is your geolocation, and if you don't want that being accessed, you can toggle this off here, but a much more thorough way of doing this is obviously doing it in the group policy editor. So going back to the group policy editor, we're going to go to computer configuration, administrative templates, open this up here, go into Windows components, and then what we're going to do here is come down until we see location and sensors here. So what we want to do is go in here, and you should see three areas which you can configure and change. So turn off location, enable this feature, and this feature will enable the policy to set in place, which will turn it off. Now you can turn off these other ones as well inside here. They're to do with the location feature as well, and this will be a much more thorough way of turning it off. Now the thing is with Windows 10 is when you update it, it normally resets all of these, and the good thing about setting it up in group policy editor means that you can save all of these settings and just re-enable them as soon as the update's done. You can just import the policies and then basically put it back to where it should be. So you can see here now, let's go back into the location area. You can see this is all now controlled and managed by our organization, which is our group policy, and everything is grayed out and you can't click on anything. It's all completely changed. Now once this is done, you can see it's been completely disabled. So let's move on to another area which I like to control with group policy, and we're going to go into here. Now you can see there's a bunch of other stuff like activity history. I've already done these, diagnostic and feedback, and a bunch of other things inside here. You can disable all of this in the group policy editor. Now I'm not going to go through every single one of these because it will take literally a long time to do, and people do complain about long videos. So what I'll do here next is move on to the next one. So we're going to go into our group policy editor, reset this back, and then start from the beginning here. So we're going to go to computer configuration, administrative templates, and then we're going to come down here to Windows components. What we're going to do here is drill down, and we're going to look for search. Now this is where Cortana resides, and we need to remove Cortana. Now if you use Cortana, by all means leave it on, but I am going to disable it, and you can see it sets to disabled, and what you can do is put it on enabled, use a selection, and you can disable cloud search. Now you can also go into allow Cortana and basically set this to disable if you want to, and you can see here when Cortana is off, users still will be able to use the search to find things and devices, and this is what you can do. So if you want to disable this feature, just put it on disabled and it will turn this feature off. and we've disabled all of these. Now I've gone through here and disabled all of the features tied in with Cortana, like lock screen and other things like that. So anything with Cortana in it, I'm going to go in here and basically disable all of this, because I don't want to have this running on my system. Now again, once you've saved of all of these settings, it means that once Windows has done its update and reset all of this stuff, we can just import our settings and it will basically put these back. It takes seconds and it saves you having to go through all of this palaver every single time, and that's the beauty of this method of blocking these settings. Now you can do a lot of these inside the registry if you're running Windows 10 Home, but that's another video. If you want to see a complete one on that, then let me know in the comments section. So what we're going to do next is go into here. You should see there is no Cortana listed here, and that's because we've disabled it completely. It will be listed inside the settings pane. Now you can set this up how you like and also block all this if you wish, but you can see Cloud Search has been disabled as well. So let's move on to something else here and start to disable some other stuff inside here. So let me go ahead and show you some other bits we can do. So we're going to go down to the settings pane again, and we're going to go into accounts this time. Now accounts, you should see sync your settings. Now this is to sync it to Microsoft, and if you're running an account, this is on a virtual machine, but if you are running an account with Microsoft, then you definitely want to disable that sync feature. So what I'm going to do here is go into here, reset all this back, and I'll show you how to disable it inside the group policy editor, so you can do it once and for all and you don't have to keep doing it. So computer configuration, administrative templates, Windows components, open this up and then come down here, pull it down a bit further, and what we're looking for here is sync your settings. Inside here you'll see a bunch of settings on the right which you can disable, and you can see here do not sync. Basically what you want to do is read the information on the right hand pane here, and it will tell you what setting works well. So you can see if you enable this policy setting, your sync settings will be turned off. So we need to enable that feature and it will turn it off, and it's now done. Now there's some other ones in here if you want to disable those as well. It's entirely up to you, or if you want to go in here and start to disable some of these. But let's just go and have a look here at some of the features of what this is done. It's basically going to put a policy on it to say that it's done by our organization, and it's not going to be able to run. So let me just quickly show you one more here just in case you want to block the others. It's a simple case of going in here, reading the information, and it says if you enable this policy, syncing on metered connections will be turned off, and that's exactly what we want. So you can turn that off if you want to and apply this and OK, and that one will be now turned off as well. And you can do that for your browser and a bunch of other settings in there. You can also do Windows settings and turn it off in there if you wish as well, and it will remove it. So doing this is probably your best way to block all of this stuff. So let's go back and have a look here at our sync. So I'm going to go in here, go to our account and go to sync your account. You should see now that some settings are hidden or managed by your organization, and you can't tinker with these settings. It's all completely grayed out and turned off, and that's exactly what I want. Now also another area which I always like to do is always make sure that the account that you're running is not connected to Microsoft and that you are running an offline account. Now some people may disagree, and they may like to be connected to their Microsoft account all the time, but personally I do not want to sign in with my Microsoft account. I want to be on a local account, which means it's basically an offline account. You're not connected, and that's how I like to use my Windows 10 operating system. So if you are using that, disconnect and create an offline account. It's very simple and easy to do. Let's move on to another one here which I like to do. So I'm going to go down to the group policy editor, go back, and I'm going to just push these all back to the beginning so we can see where we are. I'm going to go computer configuration, administrative templates, open this up and go to Windows components. Inside here we're going to open this up and we're going to go to data collection, and you'll see allow telemetry here. I've already got this done, but if you want to go in here you can basically change this. So you should see 0 security, so it's not disabled, but if you enable this, which you should do, you can then choose what you want to actually select. So go in here and select 0 security enterprise only. So you just basically do that. If you see full here, enhanced, basic and 0, put it on 0 and apply an OK, and basically that should take care of that telemetry collecting right there inside your group policy settings. So you can apply an OK that one right there. Very simple and easy to do. And of course there's tons of stuff inside the group policy editor which you can play with, enable and disable. Just be very careful what you're actually disabling, because you could hinder your system unusable when it comes to microphones and cameras and stuff like that. So inside here we're also going to do not show feedback notifications. I've disabled that feature as well. So let's move on to update and security. This is another one that I like to do. Inside here is the delivery optimization, and you'll see allow downloads from other PCs. I don't want that to happen, because if you're playing a game and you've got more than one computer on the network, it may start pulling the downloads off of your PC on that network. So I always disable that, and you can always take more control of that feature inside the group policy editor. So let me show you how to do that. Computer configuration, administrative templates, then Windows components. Inside here what we want to do is come down, and we're looking for right here, where is that gone? It should be delivery optimization. There it is. So there it is right there. So we'll go into delivery optimization, and inside here you should see download mode. Inside here, download mode, you can double click on this and change it, and you can see also there's some other ones in here, which is your maximum cache and stuff like that. You can change all that as well. But in here, if you put this to enable, it allows you to enable whatever feature you want. So HTTP only. If you disable it, it's going to completely tell you exactly what this does. So be careful which one you select. You have to read all the information here and make sure you select the right one. So LAN means it's going to pull that off of our computers on the LAN. HTTP will only pull off what it tells you here. And there's another one called 99 equals simple download mode with no peering, and also delivery optimizations download using HTTP only, and does not attempt to connect to delivery optimizations cloud servers. So you can do that also as well. It just depends on what you want to set yours up as. So just read all the way through this information here. But 0 will be HTTP only, no peering on there if you wanted to do that. So entirely up to you which one you want to set, okay? And you can also do not use delivery optimization as well. And once you go back inside here, you will see it's all grayed out here, completely grayed out and turned off. And you can set this up inside here as well for this maximum speeds that you want to use here. You can set this up inside here sliders, or you can set it up inside the group policy as well. Now there is other ones inside here, as I've mentioned, like absolute maximum cache size, and you've also got some other ones in here like max cache age and max cache size, and you can mess around with this. It tells you the size in gigabytes here, which you can set up for your own self if you want to go that deep into it, or you completely disable it altogether and it won't use that. So it's entirely up to you which way you go about setting yours up on your system. Okay, so let's take a quick look at the privacy settings in here, and there's also one called notifications. You can take a look here. Now all of these can be controlled here. So inside here you can see there's just a little slider here, but if you want more control, do it inside the group policy, and that way you get much more control for that. So let me show you how you can go ahead and do those settings there for yourself. So go back to your group policy editor, computer configuration, administrative templates, Windows components, and then inside here we want to go to app privacy. Go into app privacy and you can see let Windows app access, and it will give you a bunch of different areas here for the access of that app. So it can be, for instance, call history, the camera, microphone, messaging, and all of the other settings inside here. You'll see one saying notifications, and if you block that, here, so enable, and it says users in the control. So basically if you force deny, that will stop them from actually using that feature. If we go back here, let me just quickly show you here, it's completely locked that off, but there's still a bunch of other ones in there which they will be able to play with. So if you want to set all these up to enabled and block all of those, you'll see that all of these inside here now are controlled by me and my group policy settings, and that means I don't have to keep going in here and turning these off. Once I've got an update come through, I can just quickly import my settings and these are all done, and it's controlled by the group policy. Now be careful, because there is ones in here like microphone and camera that you may use. So if there is one like for the microphone and you've blocked it, you won't get audio. So go in here and make sure that you set this up to not force deny, that you user in control, and put in the applications that you want to control with your microphone. You can put them in there and you should get access for your microphone, and that's important. Otherwise you won't be able to do voice audio in Discord or games or any of that sort of stuff. You can select it exactly like this, or you can do it in the policy. It's entirely up to you, and then set this up how you want to do it. Just make sure you get that set right, otherwise you're going to run into problems. Okay, so let's move on to our little tweak here, which is for our batch file. We can run something like this, which will block all of the telemetry and also block a bunch of other stuff that I like to block using this script. And I'm going to say Y for yes. If you don't like using these scripts, then don't use them. Make sure you run this as administrator, as I'm doing here, otherwise you won't get it to work properly. It's going to uninstall OneDrive, and it's going to also disable a couple of services that are running for telemetry collecting, and also it's going to edit some other bits and pieces. Now if you don't want to run something a little bit more destructive like this, then leave it alone, because otherwise it will start uninstalling OneDrive and things like that. Okay, you can reinstall OneDrive, but if you don't want to do this part, then you don't have to. And I tend to not leave links for scripts in there, because people run them and then they say you broke my computer, because they don't know how to read a script and they don't understand what that script's doing. So I try not to leave links to scripts in the video description because of that reason. Okay, and this is a sort of a bit more advanced to understand what this script is actually editing and doing before you start running it. If you've got no clue, then obviously leave it well alone, because you shouldn't be doing what I'm telling you to do. You should be doing the settings that you want to do, and that's exactly how you set your PC up, because everyone has different needs. So we're going to push any key to continue here, and again I've already done all those settings and removed all of this stuff so that I don't have to worry about this. So I can push the enter key to continue here, and that is now taken care of. If you do want that link for that script, then come on to my Discord server. I'll be happy to link you on there, no problem at all, but I won't be putting that in the video description. Okay, so let's move on. So you can see OneDrive is now gone, and a bunch of other stuff has been removed as well. So then move on to the next set of things here that I want to do, which is this program here. Now if you are on Windows 10 Home, you can use something like this, which will control a lot of these privacy settings for you, but you still need to know what you're doing, and just don't go too crazy with it, because you could end up blocking your microphone and camera and things like that. But inside here we've got apps, and we can remove a lot of these apps using this program, and this will remove any sort of junk apps that you don't use. You can remove them all, but I choose to remove one at a time, like Candy Crush, Feedback Hub, and Get Help, and a bunch of other things like that. I like to remove these, and it's just quick and easy, and we can remove these by clicking on them and basically clicking on delete selected. Even the Microsoft Pay here, if you have no use for it, you can remove it. Microsoft People, I don't use that feature, and there's a bunch of other things on here like Xbox I don't use, but if you do, then leave it on your system. I just have this all off the computer. Mobile plans, also MSN Weather, Office. This is a trial thing, so you can remove that. Also OneNote for Windows 10. If you like that, you can leave it on there. Skype, I don't use the app version, and of course there's a bunch of other stuff on here. Well, I'm just going through here and having a quick look, so you can see a bunch of Xbox stuff here, and this just lets you remove these from the computer. Very simple and easy to do. There we go. Let's click on these. Your phone, that comes up all of the time. I don't use that feature and I want it off. Windows Maps, again, I don't need that. And that's pretty much it. It's tidied that area up quite nicely, and again, you can be more aggressive if you want to, but I'm just removing the stuff that I have no use for inside there. And that's that feature which you can use that app for. But it also has some other features which are little rocker buttons which will basically stop telemetry and other things like that. And you've seen me use this before, and it's quite a good little program. And you can use the other one, I think it's called 0 and 0 or 0 and 0, one of them two. It's basically the same thing. It does the similar thing, but your base privacy settings here, you can see you can set this up. So if you're on Windows 10 Home, you can use something like this if you want to, and block a lot of this stuff if you want to via this method. It's entirely up to you, but it's just another option for people that are on Windows 10 Home that don't have the option to use slider buttons like this to disable what they want to do. So if you do want to do that, by all means you can come in here and basically turn these features on and off by just using the little toggle switches like these. Very simple and easy to do. Set this up how you like it, and basically you're pretty much good to go. So these are just some of the settings that I change on Windows 10. I do some other things as well, but the video would be too long to show you that. Now, once you've got all these settings done, you can basically back all these settings up, and you can also make an image of that Windows 10 system if you wanted to. And you can also turn off Windows 10 updates so it doesn't make changes to all your settings, and use this until you're happy with the latest update that's been released, that there's no bugs or any problems with it. And then you can also roll out that update and then copy all your settings across again, and that way you can be up and running with the latest update after it's all bug free and stuff like that. Very simple and easy to do. So I hope this one's been useful to you. Let me know in the comment section below what you would like to see, or if there's any other things that you would want me to cover in videos, and I'll do my best to cover those videos for you. My name has been Brian from briteccomputers.co.uk. Have a great day, guys. Enjoy the sunny weather, and I shall see you again for another video tomorrow. Thanks again. Bye for now. Now, if you haven't subscribed yet, hit the red subscribe button and then hit the bell notification button and click all to be notified when we upload new videos.